Professor Ayodeji Oluwatope. It's nice connecting with you once again. Although regularly from time to time we usually have time to interact, but I should say is exactly 10 years ago now that I last saw you face to face. But nevertheless, all through the years, we've always interacted, and you have been very helpful for me or to me in many numerous ways. I remember when I was struggling to register School of Transformational Leadership, and I had challenge with people helping me. I tried the first time, it didn't work out. Tried the second time, it didn't work out. I was almost giving up, and these are part of the challenges that entrepreneurs face in setting up businesses in Africa, particularly in Nigeria. The entry barrier for entrepreneur is so, the barrier is enormous, and it's preventing a lot of people who could bring a difference to the society. Is preventing them from, contributing their own quotas to the development of the society. So I believe that if our government can just allow the barrier of entry of registering businesses, if there can be as limited as, even if there can never be any significant hindrance for businesses to be started, I think it will be one way to go to bring a difference in this society. Eventually, you recommended a lawyer friend of yours to me, who eventually helped me to register the company. I was almost giving up because the company was already registered in the US. So I felt, if Nigeria is not ready to allow me to do what I can do to help people, maybe I will have to look away and just focus in the US. But you insisted that you will help out, and I'm grateful to you because it eventually worked out. And also in many other fronts, we've interacted. I remember when I was first posted to your church in Ile-Ife, where I eventually married my wife. That is St. Matthew Anglican
St.
Church.
Matthew's.
Yeah.
Ile-Ile.
Yeah, I remember seeing you with your lovely wife, and at that time with your little baby. I remember the bond that we also developed there. Though you were not in the ministry then, and I don't think you even had any inclination that you were going to be in the ministry, but you were very committed. And the impression I had about you, I've never said this to you, was that if anybody asked me, who do I think Professor Ayodeji Oluwatope is, I have a short answer. And you know what that answer is? Oluwatope cannot hurt a fly. That would be my answer, that Professor Oluwatope would never hurt a fly. And just on a more lighter note, maybe I should ask you, have you ever hurt a fly?
Well, in the recent of it,
in the recent, just on the lighter mood.
Maybe if it's a mosquito, yes, I will go all out to squat it and then kill it. Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, well,
but in the other sense of it, all right.
Yeah, I can agree with you because, of course, mosquito is enemy to human. So If you
especially
put the
in
white
Nigeria.
clothes mosquito, I think that is acceptable. That is taken. But definitely, I know you don't have capacity. You don't have the capacity to harm your fellow human. That's what I'm just trying to bring out. That you are a man
Yeah.
who is for peace all the time.
Maybe we can start this uh, talk from that dimension.
Yeah,
That uh, can I hurt a fly? Yes, I may not be. I may not wish to injure a fellow human being,
yeah,
but just like the your school of thought, which is traditional leadership,
yeah,
I am a little bit careful in answering that because when you say hurt someone,
yeah,
you can, in the course of leadership,
yeah.
you may hurt someone's feeling,
Mm, that's
not because you desire to do that
mm,
intentionally or to cause a fellow human being some discomfort.
yeah.
It could be that in the course of the business of leadership,
Mm,
some decision has to be taken in favor of the system to
mm,
ensure transformation.
that's true.
And I have had to, in the course of my leadership experience,
Mm,
um, where I am in the university as a head of department, I have found myself in a very delicate situation where I had to take a decision
mm,
to uphold the tenets
mm,
of discipline,
mm,
forthrightness,
mm,
a decision that is in favor of the system, being
mm,
a system person.
mm,
And a colleague in particular had to come over to me and say that, why did I take that decision?
mm,
I shouldn't have taken that decision because that decision did not favor this colleague.
mm,
But I had to take that decision in favor of the system because as a head of department, I was leading an organization
mm,
and I was meant to be forthright.
mm,
I was meant to be, um, how do I put it, to preserve the sanctity of the institution. There are rules.
mm,
When an individual flouts or goes against the rules and regulation,
mm,
and as a leader, a transformation leader,
mm,
decision has to be made,
mm,
irrespective of whose horse is God,
mm,
And in that wise, I have found myself being faced with why did you do that?
mm,
Why didn't you why didn't you relax the rules so that this colleague
mm,
can be and they can someone. Then
mm,
even if you ask me, the decision I took at the time was not was not robot. I mean, I was not roboting.
mm,
I still ensure that I brought in what is called human milk into my decision because I could have taken a decision that was more,
mm,
um, how do I put it, a decision that I could have allowed the full weight of the law or, yeah, of the regulation to come on this colleague, but I still felt that no, I can still bring in some form
let's
of
be humane with the way we're gonna, address the situation.
yeah. So I allowed this situation. I relaxed it, but eventually I took a decision, and this colleague did not like it. I was taken to several court. Well, when I say court, not really a court of law. My case was brought up at different fora, and I had to defend myself. And eventually, I was told that I took the right decision in favor of the system. But this colleague never loved what I did. And in fact, there was a time both of us had to face each other. Colleagues were trying to mediate, and it was told to my face that I was I was unhuman. And I said, no, I took this decision in favor of the system. So in that situation, you may say that I could hurt a fly.
Hmm. Okay.
Oh, I hurt a fly, yes. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I know I haven't studied leadership since 1998. I can agree with you that leadership requires courage. And
absolutely.
sometimes when you need to make decisions that could potentially hurt people, maybe
Yeah.
just one person to preserve uh, the remaining 99% people. Sometimes there
Yeah.
could be a decision that could be taken that is just going to affect just one person in order to preserve 99 people out of 100 people. So in such a situation,
Absolutely.
you want to weigh the weight of who is gonna who is this decision going to affect more? Is it going to affect more people, or is it just going to affect this one person that is probably maybe not in sync with what is happening within the organization? And I think basically that is what it means to be a leader in the general sense of it. You always want to make
Absolutely.
decisions that will be in the interest of the majority. Of course,
Majority, absolutely.
uh, in
Absolutely.
a very ethical manner. Sometimes you can make decision that is in the interest of the majority that is unethical. So,
Absolutely. Yes.
I think in that sense, but generally, looking at your personal uh, disposition, the way you carry yourself, the way you address people, the way you make people comfortable around you. Even people who do not really know you may not even know that you are a professor in the university, but the way
Yes, that's true.
you interact with people generally, that is what made me to conclude that you cannot hurt a fly. But that does
Butterfly.
when harsh decision that is in the best interest of the organization, of the community,
There
needs
is
that
may-
and take it.
maybe I should maybe we should close this aspect of the talk with this saying that the gentle or the sluggish movement of the cat should not be mistaken for cowardice. No, no, no. That's an African
Yeah,
proverb. Not in all cases that the gentle movement of the cat should be taken for
people should
cowardice.
not take gentility for stupidity.
No, 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 no. When you're on the right, when you want to be on the right side of the law, then you have to be stern. As you said, you must be able to take decisions
Yeah,
and be courageous.
yeah,
Just
because
like God told was told Joshua when he was going to take up the mantle, he
only
said,
be
"Be
courageous.
courageous.
Yeah, be courageous.
Fear not, be courageous, because the journey is far and
Yeah.
it's treacherous. A lot of challenges here and there."
All right, Professor Oluwatope, I think we have begun on a very good note. I
Thank you.
just want to understand because the audience that I serve, uh, they are people who wants to be like people, like the kind of people that I'm bringing on this platform. They want to tap something from your life. They are looking forward to something in your life that they can learn from, that can help them to grow and develop in their own life. So I just want to ask you, I know you are a man who has had different experience as a university lecturer, a professor in the university, as a pastor in the ministry for about 14 years now, if I'm not making mistake, or 13 years or that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you've been a pastor for more than a decade. And I just want to ask you, what makes you sing? What makes you cry? What makes you get angry? What makes you fearful? What makes you feel awful? Maybe you look at certain situation, you just look at it and you say, this is awful. What makes you very passionate? What do you think fills your life with a sense of purpose? What is it that when you look around yourself, you feel that this is a fun thing to do for me? What is it that you think is extremely important to you that you have to do that is related or connected to your destiny? We want to.
Wow. Thank you very, very much, Venerable Dr. Olusegun Oshineye. As you rightly said in your intro, that we have a long uh, story to tell about ourselves. Yes, we met some time ago. I want to appreciate your use of words, the kind words you have used to describe our relationship. And I also want to say that I remain humbled. That question seemed to be very, very, very interesting. And in fact, it's loaded. You said, what makes me
Cry,
okay,
sing, angry,
cry,
fearful,
angry, fearful,
awful,
awful.
passionate.
Am I supposed to answer all of those, or
Yeah,
am I supposed
yeah,
to find a
yeah,
situation that describe all of
exactly.
those?
Yeah, in any way you think you want to best approach the question.
This is interesting. Well, since you said your audience is made up of those who want to learn from my experience, well, in the short space of time that I have been on this side of eternity, uh, quite about 5 decades now or more. So what makes me sing? Well, a lot of things make me sing when I'm happy. It's something I sing because I'm happy. There are also other occasions that you sing when you're not happy.
Mm,
When you're in an emotional environment, maybe you're in the church service, nice hymn is being, yes, comes to mind. Yes, I sing. What makes me cry? Situations that are very, very touching.
mm,
Of late, can I remember what makes the last time I cried? Yeah. Okay, I remember what makes me cry when something very emotional. When I'm very emotional, I can't cry.
mm,
I can cry when I feel that, oh, why did this happen? Or maybe something that I thought I should be able to handle, but I
mm.
wasn't able to handle it. Yeah, I cry. I'm human. I have emotions. Even Jesus Christ cried.
Yeah,
Angry, yes. What made me angry? What can make me angry? A lot of things can make me angry. Of late now, what is making me what makes me angry of late? I can just talk about is inability of the Nigerian project,
mm,
the nation Nigeria. We cannot. Why have we not got things right in the last ever since independence?
mm,
It angers me.
mm.
I
I
mean,
know
we
you've
see
shared
examples every.
of
We
that
see
with me
examples.
before.
Yes.
I said, I know you've shared a bit of that with me before.
Oh, have I? I'm okay. I can't remember now.
Just
It really
more
touched. It
smaller.
touched my. It touched the very, very delicate part of my being.
Mm,
When things are working everywhere in the world,
mm,
why will he not work with us?
mm,
It's painful.
mm,
We see things flying around and things happening here and there, but whenever it comes to Nigeria, no. I give a particular instance. I was flying back to Nigeria, I can't remember, several years back. And though this decision did not make me cry, did not make me sing, but angered me. We were at the, what's it called? Um, uh, what's this? At the airport, yes, about to board. Gate, yes. Gate was Lufthansa. I think I was flying from Frankfurt to Lagos. And what really, really angered me was this. Nigerians, because we're almost, yeah, maybe 100%, a few non-Nigerians flying back to Nigeria. And we converted that gate point to not like a marketplace, all kinds of story, noise. Oh, I'm going back home. Yeah, you cannot tell me this. You cannot. All kinds. As if Jesus Christ. I was actually the air hostesses, or who do we call them? The airline staff who are working at the gates to get us to board were overwhelmed. Everything that you can consider bad, negative, unimpressive, you can use to describe Nigerians. And you wonder whenever the opposite is when you're traveling, but when you're flying out of Nigeria, or you find yourself at another, maybe a transit gate, Nigerians will remain orderly.
mm.
When we're in the minority, we're very orderly. But whenever we see ourselves and then we're traveling back home, we feel that this is Nigeria, and then there's this unruly behavior comes from nowhere. Like the case when Jesus was being baptized and he said the Spirit of God came. We see the Spirit of Nigeria, baptizing Nigerians when we see ourselves, and then this unruly behavior comes, like my sister-in-law will say, crazy people. Anytime you are coming back home, you arrive in Nigeria. She's in Canada.
Okay.
So anytime she comes back, she sees crazy people. Nigerians are crazy. This craziness just comes back. So it angers me. So that's so I can give that. When we're not able to present ourselves as responsible and diligent and dutiful people, it angers. Fearful. What makes me fearful? Ah, um, when insecurity in Nigeria, there's a lot of insecurity, and it makes me fearful. Awful. I can't think of any now. Passionate. What makes me passionate now? What makes me passionate is anything that will make me to contribute to the next generation. I'm passionate about it. I can make life better
Mm,
for the next generation. A new Nigeria.
mm.
Yes, I'm passionate about it. Likewise, that can fill me up sense of purpose. Yes, yes. I mean, anything that will, any opportunity that will make me impact the next generation. Yes, that gives me sense of purpose. Fun, a lot of things. I can't remember any now. Anything that is good can be fun to me. Um, I like adventure. I like traveling, meeting people. Where I'm a bit, I'm not an outgoing person, but when I see very interesting personality, yes, it's fun. Uh, okay, maybe another opportunity is when I find opportunity again to impact on the next generation to make I'm very particular about Nigeria. I can tell you, I'm very patriotic. I can give in everything about myself to make Nigeria to work if it's possible. But by the day, it just appears that it's, but I believe so much. So anything that to make Nigeria or Africa to work to is fun to me, and I give in my best to it anytime. All right.
Thank you very much, sir. I know you've said a lot, but I just want to zero in on just one thing among everything that you have said. Definitely, that must be something that is emerging for you from all that you believe has touched your life in one way or the other, whether it has brought joy to your life, it has brought some prize into your life, it has brought some moments of reflection, it has brought a moment of passion. So I know you are a professor in the university, and I know you are also a priest in the church. Uh, and I don't know how you want to be able to tell us how that two realms of vocation have been able to merge to give a definition of what your call or vocation is in life. How do you want to do
Okay,
that?
so
Yeah.
well, if I got your question clear enough, you're trying to ask me how do I manage the two vocations as an academic and also as a pastor. Is that correct?
And how
The-
both profession and are emerging uh, to culminate in a specific call or vocation for your life. How they've been able to
okay.
amalgamate to form a particular calling for your life.
Okay, yes. Okay, that's fine. The two vocations are very similar. Both of them share the attribute of impacting.
Yeah.
As a teacher in the university, you impact knowledge on your students, and as a pastor, you also impact knowledge, wisdom, you guide on your parishioners or your congregation. So in the first instance, both of them share that. Then number two, as an academic, I do what is called research, um, delve into, try to unearth new knowledge. Yeah, as a pastor, I also I also try to unearth new knowledge because when you interact with people, we do counseling, you also listen to people's members' challenge. So you try to devise solution to address their problems. So you create solution, new ideas. And I must tell you that even if two different individuals approach you with with almost similar situation, the solutions may not necessarily be the same. So as a pastor, you may not likely provide the same solution to the same similarly appearing conditions. So we always try new solutions. And if you look at Jesus Christ as a pastor, as a healer, as a preacher, there are no two account of his miracles that are similar. If you look at the case of healing of okay, raising dead, there are occasions there was a case of Lazarus. He was emotional, he cried, and then he said, Lazarus, come out. There's a reason for this. And there's also the case of a child who was already dead at home, and then the centurion came and said, "Okay, yeah, it may take you some time. Why not just tell me something?" And then he said, "Okay, you're that." And so, the, Jesus Christ, for me, also was an academic who demonstrated his ability to create new solution
Mm,
to similar problems. So I see this that as a professor and also a pastor, there is this common ground, the common denominator.
mm,
You teach, you impact, you create solution. Thirdly, as an academic, I need to impact, bring knowledge from the university and impact on the community.
mm,
In, as a pastor, yes, there is community service. So as a pastor, you do community service. I see them the two vocation shares. But in my own case, I think I have a rare opportunity. And I want to give credit to my my spiritual father who actually brought me to the ministry. I remember that day in his sitting room, Baba Dubogu. He had called me about it about 3 times. And he said, young man, I think God wants you to come and work in the ministry. And I said, no, I think I'm comfortable that I'm already working in the choir and I think I'm okay. And I said, okay, then the first time he allowed me to go. Sometimes again, he called me again. But this last time he said, no, I think your case is like Samuel. When God called Samuel, he went to Eli and said, who was that? Whose voice was that? And he said, okay, I think maybe the second or the third time, I told him, okay, the second time I told him I do not have evidence of God call on me. Okay, yes, I remember. And he said I should go and come back whenever I had a call or I could convince him. I said, okay. And so the third opportunity came. I was in his sitting room in Kwaraki. He said, are you now ready? Do you have? And I said, no. He said, no. He said, I think your case is like Samuel. He had 3 calls and he never knew who was calling him. I think it was God calling you. And that was and that was it. So that was how I found myself in the ministry because several years, but I remember 2000 1999, Baba, the private Akiola also said so. I told him, no, I said, I don't have a call. And he let me off the hook. Well, about the one who said, no, I think your case. So what I'm trying, uh, so Babadwo gave me that opportunity that I could do my academics and also do pastoral, the ordained ministry on part-time. So in my own case, my role, the role I play as a pastor is more on the part-time. I'm not like you that you're a full-time pastor. And I give a lot of the full-time pastors, I give them a lot of respect. You guys, you do a lot of work.
But
Those of us who are
yes,
10,
sir, in the US, you will do
yes.
full-time ministry and you will do full-time day job.
But the law does not allow that. You cannot do two full-time jobs. You cannot be a full-time minister in the
because
church and then
because because you can because even the full-time pastoring that we do in the US, you are not paid. It's more of it is
oh
more
oh that is the difference. Okay, so what you practice in the US is the ideal case of what we tend to make a practice in Nigeria.
exactly
So
exactly.
there's no full-time minister in the US. So
Yeah,
everybody
there are some,
must
but
have.
majority are not full-time. There are some full-time
Okay.
ministers. But in our own setting, particularly in our diocese, every one of us are full-time workers elsewhere in our daytime job.
Okay. So I now see why I think we should come and we should share notes. We should compare notes now. So we're actually on the same side.
Exactly.
Okay. Ah, oh, okay, okay. So oh good. Then you guys are doing that. So you pastor a church full time, and
Exactly.
then you also have
A
your
daytime job. Yeah.
um daytime job. Wow. That's huge,
Enormous.
huge. So
Thank
that's
you.
what we do. That's the same thing we do because I remember when I was a vicar of a church, yeah, I have to do that. And quite a number of my colleagues who are pastors and also academic in the university also have other kinds of vocation or other appointment. They do full time. You pastor a church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on Sunday, then you're back to your work and all of that. So yeah, that's so. By and large, the two vocations share a lot of commonality, and then they have their challenges, and the Lord has been helping me. Uh, the two, maybe I should stop on this point. The two vocations do not have uh, um, what I call boundaries. Or do not have what do you call are not nine to
They
five.
are not
They are not 9 to 5. Yes, go ahead.
Uh, I I I was trying to say that maybe they are not. They have a place of overlap. There is no distinct demarcating line between the two professions.
No, no. There are, but what I want to try to say here is that there are no strict time period, start
Okay.
and stop. You can
Okay.
say, okay, you resume at 9 and close at 5. As an
Exactly.
academic, you work 24 hours.
Exactly.
And as a pastor, you also work 24 hours. So both of them share this. So
Yeah.
it's very consuming.
Very
It's
clear.
very, very consuming on, yeah. So on your part, even on your family, I mean your
Exactly.
wife, my wife, and I mean all this.
They
So
have
it's
to
it's
follow you
everywhere. It's
everywhere you
very,
go.
very
Yeah.
everywhere. It's very time consuming.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, thank you very much. I know Obafemi Awolowo University has been one of the most, we can say, is one of the most prominent universities in Nigeria. Is more or less like a city that is set on an hill uh, among other universities. And I know that a lot of innovators have emerged from the Nigerian universities. If you look at many of the entrepreneurs that we have had in Africa today, many of them definitely came directly from Obafemi Awolowo University. Even if you come to the US, some of the greatest engineers, some of the greatest doctors that are really making wave in the USA have their connection to Obafemi Awolowo University. And if you even want to talk about the first Nobel Prize winner, you want to talk about Professor Wole Soyinka, it
Yes.
was from the Obafemi Awolowo University. So in that sense, we can say that the university is structured in such a way that it has the there is an innate ability for the structure of the university to produce great innovators uh, and business disruptors. And I came across a news I want to confirm from you because I know you are in the computer department, and I know there are a lot of things that are happening in that department. Uh, I know the person who founded Jobberman also was from OAU, if I can remember clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there was something I came across over the internet on LinkedIn, maybe last week or thereabout, about a smartphone that was presented, that was developed, that was designed and developed and then presented. Uh, and the news is really making rounds all across the social media. And I was really excited about the news. So, but I'm just curious, what exactly are we to make out of that news? Is it just to show that, hey, we are there, we are not totally blank out of what is happening in the society, or is there really something big that we should be expecting from that presentation, or is it just uh, PR technique just to create some spotlight on the university?
Yes, your question is clear. The buzz, is it just a buzz in the cyberspace? let me start from the historic perspective. Obafemi University is a trailblazer in so many things, and one of the very key as part, I mean, key areas of um, that Obafemi has been a trailblazer is in technology. Obafemi University was the first higher institution in Nigeria, or let's say university, to establish a faculty of technology. And the reason, which is quite different from the initiative or the yeah, what you find in other universities. In other universities, first generation universities, you find faculty of engineering, faculty of engineering. But Obafemi established a faculty of technology because Obafemi University, the forefather of OAU, found the future of Nigeria being in the space of technology, not engineering. Mind you, engineering is the application of science to improve life. I mean, the social um, experience of human. So science, very in sciences, um, very basic research is, is conducted, but the application of this research is to improve life of men is or humanity is engineering. But incidentally, there is a nexus, there's a connection between engineering and science, and that is technology. So Obafemi University forefathers saw the future of Nigeria in the space of technology, a marriage of science and technology. So you find a typical department in Obafemi University, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. It's a rare mix. So Department of Material Science and Engineering, Faculty of Food Science and Engineering, so Department of so we mix engineering and science because that produces technology. What impacts humanity now is technology. So, and this, what you read in LinkedIn that was making round in the social media space in the last maybe few days from now, um, started quite so many years ago. I remember, I think around 2010 was when the there's a guy in the department called Professor Ayodeji. Um, we can say that he is the face of the new OAU. I remember 2010, himself and myself were just talking, and a few other people that can we not produce a mobile phone, a smartphone that is um, local, that is indigenous to Nigeria? And that was how that journey started. And I remember that a small room was dedicated to that, and then we brought some students, some were just brainstorming, and so it has taken what you are reading now has taken us barely about 14 years to come up with. Uh, about 14 years. And so the buzz that is in the social media, it's is interesting, but it has spanned, the effort has spanned about 14 years. So you should expect more. To answer your question, please, you're going to expect more. We just came up with we just came up with that version, and I'm sure you're going to see many more of this. It's going to be sustained because it's um, it's a feat that is dear to our heart. That is dear to our people. Yes, I want to tell you that for me, I don't see that as an innovation. No, because the technology to produce a smartphone is already is everywhere. I mean, so yeah, what we have just done is to imitate, is an imitation. We have replicated what is already known, but using local materials, local resource person unlike going to China or going to Europe and then import something. So we're able to put our knowledge together, what we have read in textbook and materials around us, use men as students, postgraduate, undergraduate, and then be able to come up with something. Yeah. So I think what should create the kind of boss that will really excite people like somebody like me is when we create something new.
mm,
A smartphone is not new.
mm,
It's existing. I have one that we're creating one. Is yes, we are trying to tell the world that yes, we too can imitate. We can do what is we have this. We have enough knowledge and skill to create our own, and then in a few maybe some time to come, then we can also be join the space where we also bring in new ideas.
mm.
Before now, it was not smartphone. We had ordinary phone, dummy phone, smartphone came. What is the next in the trajectory? Something else is coming. AI is in the offing now.
Right.
So where is AI going to lead us? That is what we should be challenging ourselves. That's the way I see it. That's what I tell my students.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but it's very important to join the bandwagon. This is the bandwagon is let's tell the world that we as Nigerians can also produce a smartphone that is usable, that can address the need of our people, affordable, that can address capital flights, contribute to GDP, and also give Nigeria the face that it deserves. So that when our children come of age, they can say, oh yeah, our fathers have done well. And we know that 40, 50 years ago, China was not where it is now. China was nowhere. But today, China is competing with the US.
Yeah.
The US is not finding it easy
Mm.
because they have imitated and now they are initiating. So
Yeah.
we are just waking up from our slumber. I can say that we're just about to wake up,
Mm.
and the sleeping giants in Nigeria should be awakened
Mm.
so that we can occupy that position in which we are. So, yeah, this is good news for me, and I just hope that we can have more of this dotting the whole of Nigeria. That's for me, and then in a few years to come, the rest of the world can read a different news item about Nigeria, not kidnapping, not corruption, not all sorts, but where we see the future. And soon, maybe Nigeria too will join the space race.
Thank you. Yeah, just like you, I think I have a strong faith and belief in the Nigerian project. And frankly speaking, I know there could be people who are criticizing Nigeria as a nation, but I think that majority of us, whether you are Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, Yoruba, Niger Delta, or wherever you come from, or from the Middle Belt, wherever you come from the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, I think we've already come to a place where we believe that Nigeria as a project is possible, but we are not, we don't have the courage yet to initiate or to work out the possibility of that project. I think that is where we are stuck. And I so much believe that Nigerians all over the world, we're always there. People respect us for who we have, for our talent, for our courage, for our education. Uh, there is that respect for us all over the world. But within ourselves is where the problem is. We have not been able to coordinate ourselves to be able
Absolutely.
to allow that giant, that sleeping giant, like you
Yeah.
said, to awake that giant to be able to begin to do great things. Now, talking about uh, Nigeria or OEU imitating others in the space of technology, like creating, developing, designing smartphones. And then you just mentioned artificial intelligence, which was a product of the aftermath of the COVID-19 lockdown. It was soon after the lockdown was over. That was when artificial intelligence boom began to spread across the globe. And I think this is one area that Nigerian technologists, engineers, innovators, creative leaders can really come up and do something that is really unique, because the barrier to enter is very limited. There is not a huge barrier that could make people to enter into that space. Of course, people with money are really doing a lot. If you look at what Elon Musk is doing, what Mark Zuckerberg is doing, and you see what all these billionaires are doing, you will be afraid that if some people don't come up in Africa and do something about this, we might as well forget about Africa ever rising up to contend or to compete with any other global powers in the world in the future. So I just want to ask you, I know that in Nigeria, uh, there is so much emphasis on theoretical learning that has no application in the real life issues that are confronting people. So I just want to ask you, what do you think we can do to make a giant leap from being a theoretical focus center of education to become a center of education that enables people to do things that solves real life problem? Like, for example, I can use my own situation to give you an insight. When I was in Nigeria, the only thing I care about is to pass exam. But the moment I came to the US, I suddenly discovered that what I'm being taught in the classroom is not just meant for the classroom. It's not even meant for me to pass exam. It is for me to apply it the following Monday as I find myself on my daily job. So what you are able to learn in class, you are able to apply it almost immediately in the marketplace. And that is why you see me do the kind of things I am doing. I don't know if I'm still in Nigeria, if I can be able to do all these things I'm doing. Maybe I can do it, I don't know. But it is the product of what I have learned in school that has helped me to set up School of Transformational Leadership, to set up Africana Leadership Digest, and to be able to do a lot of things. So I just want you to help us. What can we do to make that leap from theoretical knowledge framework to the application of principles that relate to real life issues?
Yeah, thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Olusegun Shine, for prompting me in this direction. This is when we started. You said, "What are the things that can make me cry? That can make me say that I'm passionate?" I think this is one of the things I'm passionate about.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm passionate about this, and over the time, I've always asked myself that question: how do we translate theory to practice?
Mm.
How do we operationalize the theories?
Mm.
First and foremost, from my experience so far as a Nigerian and having been here for so long, I discovered that we run a dysfunctional educational system.
Mm.
We have a society that is not I don't know how we missed it. That is not designed for meritocracy. That
mm,
that approach that values merit.
mm,
That's the first thing we. That's the first thing I discover
mm,
here. We celebrate mediocrity. We celebrate um, playing to the gallery rather than doing the real thing.
mm.
Yes. I don't know. Maybe that is what I don't know if that's what our colonial master gave us. I don't know. Um, or maybe they gave us a different.
Template.
They gave us something else, and then we bastardized it.
Okay.
How we got here, I don't know. We are not. We're not a people who appreciate merit.
Mm,
No,
mm,
we are not. We're not a people who value hard work.
mm,
In fact, this has even crept into the church. There's a saying in the Christendom in Nigeria, and then for those of us who come from the Yoruba part, that "Iṣẹ́ kékeré owó ńlá."
mm,
There's nothing like that in the Bible.
mm,
Well, from my little knowledge, I don't think God is interested in giving you so much while you put in so little.
mm,
No,
mm,
these are some of the philosophy we got somehow and then we missed it.
mm,
From what we have read, the history of development in Europe, in America, what Europeans and even Asians are enjoying now are as a direct reward of hard work, consistent hard work. When you fail, you relearn, you improve, you unlearn, you relearn, and then you move on. But in our own case, no, we're interested in something happening, so one miracle happening. This evening, I was just driving and I found myself listening to a pastor preaching.
mm.
And some of what he was preaching, I wasn't happy with it. You know, there is a difference between, yes, God, the miraculous, but also God is interested in your hard work.
Mm,
Nigeria, whether from Christendom, we don't seem to preach hard work.
mm.
We see hard work as being negative,
The course.
as a cause, but it isn't. The Bible says he will bless the work of our hand. The hand that does not work should
Oh,
not feed. But we will say that no, God, our God is this, and then so miracle should fall. Manna fell for the children of God. In fact, there was sometimes for the Israelites.
your
Somebody
neighbor
told me
to
when
favor.
all those you know, but you are in the US. You should tell me if some of these things, all this BP glamour, but you know, these are these are these are areas that I think we have missed it. Nigeria is a country where you cannot freely discipline or correct an individual. What you have done is wrong, and then you face the music.
Mm,
In your own climb, if you make mistake, you face it,
mm,
and then you come out better. In our
mm.
own kind, we want to dodge it. We want
And we
to,
even turn it to a political game. You won't
you
even
know,
understand what even happened in the first place. It's just the
so
drama you'll be seeing.
yes, we want to create a scene whereby the boy is good. Oh, when okay, no, yeah, yeah. No. So one of the reasons why we have not been able to translate theory to practice that we are not a hard worker.
Mm,
It's in Nigeria you will find a worker who wants to attend prayer meetings 8 o'clock. He will tell you as his boss or guy, I won't come to school. I won't be at my desk by 8 o'clock on
as I'm going
Monday
for a prayer meeting.
because I have a prayer meeting. I will arrive at 12. Why are you laughing now? You're a pastor. Because his GO has set up a church
Oh my
meeting,
God.
and then he wants to sign his full. He wants you to sign his full salary at the end of the month, and then and don't laugh. Don't. At the end of the day, if you if you put up a challenge,
Mm.
he or she will
They will
then
call you
mark you
Antichrist.
as an antichrist. Do you imagine? He's a pastor. He's an Anglican priest, and I told him I won't be at work on Monday. I won't be at work on Wednesday because I have a church event, and I still want to earn my full salary, and then at the end of the year still have my full leave. And then
Mm.
you ask him, for God's sake, what have you done?
Mm.
In my own case, I tell my staff that no. I even tell a colleague who is a pastor of a church. I said, no, you cannot use government time to run your business, your church business. No. What kind of impression do we create
Mm.
as a pastor? The time you are meant to be at work to teach your students, you are attending a church meeting on a Monday, a Tuesday. So in the first instance, we don't even understand the theories. So the first problem is that even the theory you see us make noise about, we don't even understand it because we have not. I remember when you were talking with me, you said when you started your master's in Boston, or I don't remember, you told me that that your professors will give you books,
Exactly.
maybe over run into 100 pages that you have to read maybe over 2 days, come to
In
the
the
next
week,
to the next, and then deliver.
minimum of between 300 and 400 pages every week.
You told me that those two. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen here. That is theory, not the practice. It's not possible. The
Yeah.
teacher, student will tell you that chef power
Right.
no. So even the theories, we don't even know the theory.
Mm.
Talk less of practicing, transforming the theory to
Mm.
practice.
Mm.
We don't know the theory because we have not been trained to be hard worker, to reward hard work, to reward good, sound hard work.
Mm.
We are mediocres.
Mm.
We are mediocres.
Mm.
We like mediocrity. So, what can we do to answer your question? First and foremost, let us change our work ethics to be hard work, to work hard,
Mm.
to work hard. If you are working 6 hours, work 6 hours and go home. Let 6 hours be the 8 hours we do in Nigeria is barely 2 hours.
Mm.
In between, you would run so many things, and at the end of the day, you sign that you have done 8 hours and collect your salary. So I'm not surprised. The government cannot even pay us commensurately.
Mm.
We are being paid for the hours that we have not put in.
Mm.
So, and when you don't have a good understanding of the theoretical background, fundamentals of it, you are unable to translate it to practice.
Mm.
It's not possible.
Mm.
So the theories you think we know, we don't know it.
Mm.
We don't understand it.
Mm.
So how on earth do we translate it to practice? It's possible. It's not.
Mm.
So Nigerians should first go and learn the theories.
Mm.
Learn it. Professors should examine it. Do you know that is in Nigeria that we don't have marks? Many of the first class and two ones you see, many of them are not as a result of hard work.
Mm.
We give out marks a lot.
Mm.
From one meeting to another, this person will come and beg you and say, I won't be able to attend interviews if I don't make a 2-1. If you give me 2 marks here, add 1 mark there, add 2 marks there. And then at the end of the day, you will then ask this fellow, if you go begging for marks to make a 2-1 or a first class, then you are not even a 2-1. That is not who you are. Then who are you? So universities in Nigeria, which includes me, I'm a professor, we're also in the same business. We give out grades, class that students don't deserve. because we don't have the political will to say no. It's not because the pressures everywhere, the challenge and strike. But whereas in your own climb, if you are a first class, this person is first class. It's a first class brain. It's a first class brain. I'm not saying that there are no first class brain amongst us. There are, but the tons of first class. If you read newspapers, now almost every university, we pride ourselves in the number of first class we produce, except those of us who are from the first generation university. And then students don't even come to AU now. You really give first class. There are so many universities that will give you first class. I got a call some 3 years ago from an Indian immigrant who is based in Canada, a professor. You know why he called? He said he wanted to appreciate Obafemi Awolowo University. I said, why? He said, over the years, in his recruitment process to recruit students for postgraduate, that he has discovered that the 60%, 65% that OAU give students are actually 65%. That he has compared 60% from OAU graduates with 70% of other universities. I won't mention their names, that they are not the same. That you find universities who give their students with transcripts 70, 80, 90. Or say whenever you find a 60% student in OAU, that you are sure is a 60%. And he said he appreciated our effort. So Nigeria, we're in a business of doling out marks. We're in the business of doling out marks. So the theories, we don't even know it. Talk less of being able to identify the problem that surround us, where we can find solution and apply the theories to address the solution. And you agree with me, you are a testimony. You have been able to apply the theories you learn in class to the experiences you have had in the marketplace. So you are in Nigeria, you read in Nigeria, but now you find yourself in a different climate, you're able to do that. So is it not the same you? It's the same you. There's something is wrong with our system.
Exactly.
There's something wrong with our system that is not able to produce that kind of phenomenon, ability to translate theories to practice. You just left in less than 10 years or maybe 2 decades. You're already doing your part.
It will be 10 years in January 4. January 4.
And look at you. And then I remember you said that you are not sure if you had remained in Nigeria, you would have been able to perform the same feat. So something is wrong with the system here. So every graduate, by the design of curriculum, I've been involved in curriculum design, is expected to be able to translate theory to practice. But it is in the manner in which the curriculum is being operationalized that matters. And the way we operationalize in Nigeria is challenge, has a different. That's why we don't see products. We don't see results. But when you take Nigeria away from Nigerians out of Nigeria to elsewhere, they perform.
They perform. That's true. That's absolutely correct. We are very dominating in, particularly in the USA. And Nigerian students are very dominating in our education. Thank you very much, sir. So I just want to narrow down all that you have said to one thing. And if I can narrow it down to one thing, I would say everything boils down to leadership problem. And
absolutely.
And in recognizing the leadership as the root, as lack of courageous leadership, if we may want to put it that way, as the root cause of some of the anomalies that you have identified. That is not to also say that we cannot also create a system that elevates people's CGPA. For example, in my doctorate degree, my CGPA was nearly 3.8 plus out of 4 points, which means I almost got the entire 4 points in my CGPA for my doctorate degree, which means there is also a way we can design our curriculum in such a way that it's not just producing, it's not just revealing the quality of student by lower grades, but also by high grade with qualities to match. Because for me, that is the kind of experience you mostly find in the US. And the way the US educational system is structured is such that when you are in school or when you are doing your studies, you are not competing with anybody. Your result is not comparable to what other person is getting in class. In fact, all the people you are in the same program together, you may not even take the same courses all together. All of you will find yourself in different classes. And these are done to tailor your passion, your desire in a particular way that it helps you to apply yourself in the direction that you feel you want to lead your life. So I just want to ask you, now that we've identified so many problems, what do you think should be the way forward, going from this point forward?
Wow. Yeah, a lot has been said. It's it's easier said than done.
Yeah, it is.
I must tell you that
Yeah.
Nigeria is a complex country. Over 200 million people, different, so many faiths,
Yeah.
multi-racial, multi tribes, uh,
multi ethnic.
ethnic, political. Oh, gosh, and one major challenge is that we have gone through this for almost 7 decades. We've been rigmaroling over this for too long, and so I don't know. We as a nation, we are now at a situation. We're now in a situation where I don't know how to put it. That I think it's becoming more difficult to sanitize ourselves. So one way out is I don't know. It's we need a purposeful leadership, not just not just with
Just
one man
moving
army.
people through ranks, just moving people
Yes,
through ranks.
we need we we need a swarm of purposeful leadership.
A swarm. I like that word.
Abs- Absolutely,
Yeah,
we need a swarm of purposeful that will just sweep through because
yeah. That will sweep through the
not
system.
a sing
Yeah,
that and then overwhelm the norm so that we can create
a
a new
new
order.
call, a new
What we
call.
need is we need a new order.
Yeah,
China did it.
yeah. They did it.
The way China did it, can we go that route? I don't know. I don't know. We just need something. I mean, where you can get purposeful leaders in their turns, decide, stand up at the same time, and then take a decision and sweep through Nigeria.
Mm,
It's not what an individual or a few persons can do. No,
mm,
we have got because the corruption, the disorientation in Nigeria is systemic now.
mm, mm,
This Nigeria of 2025 is not the Nigeria of 1980.
mm,
It's not the Nigeria of 1970.
mm.
So is really, really, really I don't know. So advocacy, yeah. the irrespective of all that I have said, we need a swarm of leaders, purposeful leaders. And we also need to do a lot of this stuff. For example, this your platform is good. You're bringing people to talk. How do we transform our country? Yes, where you give people like me your to use. I mean, a platform like yours to speak. Yeah, I'm sure people will hear about. And then, yeah, advocacy. Yes, it will help. Let's continue in that. Let's create more. It will create more ripple effect, and then maybe someday we can just hit that frequency where um, a a sizable number of um, um, purposeful leaders can then rise up and we can take over the country. As it is, we need a lot of enlightenment, education, advocacy, because like it is said that if after, I mean, there's a saying that at a time, um, what seemed to be negative will become what is right. Wrongs are now becoming right now because we used to seeing dysfunctional system, and then so we have come to believe that oh, that's how life should be. Because for too long, for so long, maybe you in the last 10 years, I've seen system work, and then you are reorientating yourself. But some of us, right from we have been is what I've been seeing is this, and then it's becoming the norm. Yeah, it's like it's the norm. So if you try, when you said, "Oh, you built a smartphone," is a rare occasion, it's a rare situation. It's not the norm. So what is the norm is that nothing good comes, or is anything good can come from Nazareth. That is the norm. And it appears that that's how it should be forever. I mean, it should continue like that. So we need more of those revolutions. I mean, not the kind of revolution that will throw the country into chaos. Because I don't know where 200 million Nigerians will filter into in Africa. We just overrun the whole of West Africa. And that's huge humanitarian crisis for United Nations. So we need a different kind of revolution, like what OAU is doing now, and a couple of universities are doing, and what you are doing. This is a revolution.
It is.
Trying to it is subtle but impactful and then sustainable. If we have more of this, then we can then shift the goalpost to
Create
something
this
else, and
one
everybody's
that you
looking at it.
just mentioned. I think I
Yes, yeah, a swarm of leadership, purposeful leadership, moving in the right direction. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now let's talk about one area that is a big concern to me in the way our educational, particularly the tertiary education institution are set up in Nigeria, which is talking about how underfunded that they are. I know that for example, Nigeria has the cheapest medical school all over the world. I'm not sure if you count 10 cheapest medical school in the whole world. I'm not sure that we will have 2 or 3 countries that will be above Nigeria. I'm not talking about those who produce doctors. We also produce doctors in large number, but when we are talking about the kind of what people pay to gain that knowledge, Nigeria is the cheapest. And because we produce cheap doctors, we have been able to produce, we are now exporting that same cheap product that is of high quality. We are now exporting it to countries where there are medical schools. It will take you nearly $400,000 to go through their medical school.
To go through medical school.
To go through their medical school system. Yes. Whereas in Nigeria, I don't think a medical student all the 10 years he will spend in the university, I don't think a medical student will spend up to 10 million naira in Nigeria. I don't think so. I'm talking even of now, not even talking about the past 10 or 2 decades. Now, I'm not sure that a medical student will spend in a public school, will spend 10 million naira to go through the medical school in a school like Obafemi Awolowo University. So we are talking about schools being underfunded. And when we talk about this, where people's mind usually go to is government is not funding education. Well, they may be right in one way. The government has a role to play in funding education, but also there are also ways, because I've seen institutions here in America. In fact, some schools like Harvard universities are even richer than some countries in Africa. So they have a system in place that enables them to generate fund continuously. And one of those areas through which they generate fund is through their alumni. You know, every time Boston University sends a little note to me every year, support our so, and so, they will just write, you know, every time they send that thing, I'm always emotional. Maybe I've sent once, maybe I think so, maybe once, but I've not been able to send regularly because I don't have that capacity yet. But for the fact that they are sending the message to me and I feel inclined to want to support, it shows that the school has done something in me that is making me to feel that way towards them. But I don't think of any students in Nigeria that their former alma mater will send such notes to. I will have that same feeling. I'm not saying there are not exception to the to what I'm trying to say. There are a few exceptions, but majority of the people would not want to do something because of the various encounters that they've had during the process of schooling, even after their education. For example, a student who wants to get his transcript from the university, the stress that some of these schools make people to go through just to get ordinary transcript that you worked for, that you labored for.
You see, my very distinguished host.
Yes, sir.
You have said your question is very clear, and
maybe I don't need to say more.
Let me start from where you start. I mean, from where you started from. First and foremost, medical education in Nigeria is going through a transformation now.
Okay.
Because we are beginning to find private universities who are competing with, well, they are making attempts to compete with government institutions. And I can mention a number of private universities or private public universities who run medical school that they pay handsomely. Let me start with private university. Afeba Balola has a private university in Ado-Ekiti. The medical school now costs about, I don't know, the last time was 6 million naira, maybe 2 years ago, per session. Tuition. And I'm not too sure, I cannot confirm that. Someone told me as of today, it's 10 million naira per session. He keeps updating the tuition fee. There are also other universities. Bowen has a medical school. I think it can be less than 3 to 4 million. Babcock has a medical school in that way. So in Nigeria now, medical education is increasingly expensive because
Yeah,
with
it's
the
still relatively
introduction of
cheap. It's still relatively
it's
cheap
relatively cheap.
for what you have in the
It's
US.
relatively cheap. Yes, yes, yes. It's still relatively cheap. So I'm just telling you that in another 10 years, the story will change, and you'll be surprised. Quite a good number of Nigerians are patronizing these universities.
Mm.
Those who can pay.
Yeah.
Public university. Let me now move on to private public university. Uni Osun is an example. Medical University Ondo, she also about maybe about 3 million or so. These are public-private universities, so in that direction. But in OAU, a typical federal university, you pay far less, and that is not that's it. And that's one of the reasons why these medical schools are not developing, because medical education does not come cheap.
Mm.
Yes, we have graduates who went to these same cheap universities, and they are doing wonders all over the world.
Mm.
That's fine. So what I'm trying to say is that the medical school around the world that you in the US that you are comparing are private university. Harvard is a private university.
Yeah.
Boston is a private university, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Is
It is.
is it state?
It is.
So
It's a private university
if you ask me,
owned by the United Methodist Church.
Okay, another is a faith base. If you ask me to
Mhm.
mention one or two public state-owned university in US, it will take me some time. Maybe Florida State University. Is it a state university? Is
I
it private?
I
You
don't know.
don't know. What I'm trying to drive at is that even in the US, the public universities are not as and are not as widely known as private.
Uh,
The bulk of your universities that are making waves are private. So that's why they have that fund. They are private driven, not state owned. No. The, I can't imagine, I don't know of any state owned university in the US that is in the first 10 in the world. But if you measure the first 10 universities, they are going to be private
they
universities.
are all private and faith-based universities.
Sure, because they are private based.
Yeah.
So they will then because they will be able to raise the capital. They can then discipline the workforce to go in that direction. So the same thing is happening in Nigeria. If not in the last 10 years, that's one of the good things that we can say has come up in Nigeria. The ability to encourage private interests in university business. We're beginning to see dividend. Covenant University, Abuad, Bowen, um, um, Babcock. These are private universities based in the southwest. Yeah, they're making waves. But that does not say that I've been to other private universities around Nigeria that you'll be sorry to say that this is a university.
Mm.
They're also being bastardized.
Mm.
So it's not impossible that uh, quality will improve as time goes on. We're going to find very good private universities who will compete, who will
Yeah.
be able to compete. But for government-funded university, there will always be this challenge of poor funding because the government is drawn thin.
Mm.
And because of the responsibility of the government to the citizen, tuition cannot be raised as comparable to what is obtainable in private university. So they always be challenged for fund. Private university can raise funds
Mm.
and then do a lot
Mm.
comparable to public university. So when it comes to alumni relations, which is what you mentioned,
Yeah.
yes, because it's private driven. Anything private driven is efficient, is effective because it's private, is result oriented. But in public, there are other
Bottleneck.
considerations. There are also considerations. So you may not necessarily get the very best. The likes of OAU, UI in Nigeria are public universities. So we are not able to buy the best technology to make your transcript ready in one day. I tell you, as the head of department, one of my headache is how do I get transcript? And transcript is even beyond me. It's a university thing. If you ask me when I graduate student, don't I give results? Don't I produce the result? I do. I give them to the university, but because for one reason or the other, filing system, you graduated 20, 30 years ago. Where are these records? Even if we digitize them, do we have the appropriate technology to keep a digital record for that period of time? How do we digitize legacy documents? That has been a huge headache. Electricity, connectivity. OAU was founded 1961. It was never founded as a digital university. How do you connect all this? You go to the foundation. Whereas a university that was founded last year or 5 years ago was founded on the basis of digitalization. So I was on sabbatical in a university where documents are not moved. You don't see paper flying around in this same country because the university was built from the scratch on the principle of digitalization. You make your memo on the computer, you send your memo, and everything is flying electronically. A first generation university in Nigeria cannot do that today because of so many reasons. The way and manner in which
You have to write your memo and pass it
no
from one table to the other.
to the other. In fact, you will find some administrators will tell you that's not how. Let me amuse you. There are still administrators or maybe academics in the university that will tell you that the statute of this university says that every meeting must be conveyed with a memo. Until you change the statute of the that was created 1960, any meeting you convey with an email is illegal, is non-binding. As a HOD, I have been confronted severally that Mr. HOD, you cannot call, you cannot invite me to a meeting of the department by email because it is not in the statute of the university. So you can see some of the transformational challenges or transformation challenges that we're going through, challenging the grain of the society. Talk less of limitation with technology, electricity. So we have the challenge of reorientating ourselves. Someone will tell you that I cannot have a meeting, I cannot have a departmental meeting virtual. You and I we're having this meeting on Zoom. Someone will tell you, no, it's not written. The statute of the university says we should meet at so and so location before decisions can be made, and the decisions are binding. So if you hold a meeting virtually, it's illegal and it's non-binding. I will not attend. So can you imagine? Well, I don't know. Maybe there are those who also believe.
There are real issues that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, the human part, not even technology.
This is where purposeful leadership comes in.
Yeah.
Who is coming in, and then not just one person, like you said, a swarm of purposeful.
It's a swarm. Oh, yeah.
To change the culture. Now, let's move away from there, and then maybe we should start to wind down our conversation and then go a little bit personal to you at this point. Now, if I want to ask, what leadership journey would you have advised your younger self to pursue if you if you
If I have opportunity to relive my life,
yeah,
what leadership journey would I have
advise your younger self to
embarked on?
yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I have a role model, and that role model is Jesus. Jesus Christ has a leadership style that is very, very effective. In the past 2,000 years, he gave that example. And even non-Christian, those who have been laying credence to it, his leadership pattern is very, very, very impactful. And I'll give you a simple example. The account in John chapter 8, where the lady that was caught in the act of adultery, when Jesus was brought into the space, although it was for a different mission, they wanted to use that case to nail Jesus. But if you look at outside of that, the way he handled that case is different. Even in this present dispensation, it's very difficult. As a head of an administrator myself, can I handle a case like that? You have a student has been caught with evidence cheating in an exam and has been brought to me to allow the full weight of the law. Would I have told that part? Now let's put that aside. Now let's now look at the impact on the lady. When Jesus said that whoever has not committed any sin should be the first to cast the stone. And then he looked down. He took a risk.
Yeah.
He could have been stoned, or the lady may have been stoned. But for one reason, to death, but for one reason or the other, they all left in guilt.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ said, "Where are your accusers? I find them no more." His response is or was, "Go and sin no more." Very, very impactful, constructive, um, constructive. I've forgotten the word. Rebuke or
And
I forgot that.
we can even call it empathetic leadership.
Empathetic leadership. You see, it's not a leadership that is quick
Judge.
To apply the rod, and it's also a leadership that is quick to what's it called now? Uh, uh, Spoil with the carrot. No. But it's a leader that takes the middle point, as you said, empathetic. He looks at it holistically and he left. That is it. Jesus Christ also demonstrated, he said,
I think his approach was more of reformative than destructive.
yes. So that's the kind of leadership that I desire. But the challenge, because I've always asked myself that question, I also ask myself, would I be able to play Jesus in a similar situation this time around? I will have problem with the legal structure around me. If I have a case of a a student who cheated in an exam, will I go further to enforce the regulation or to be empathetic on that student? It's very difficult because whichever decision I take has has an impact. If I become empathetic, what impression do I create in the mind of my colleagues and also other students who are mindful?
Yeah, maybe
Because the law,
being empathetic could be rather than completely sending the student away out of the school, you can give suspension just to reform the student. And
but
then
that's
after a while, the student comes back to school and repeats that same class.
that is the law. That is what regulation says.
Okay.
A case is filed, and then the student is made to face the committee, disciplinary committee, and then the law says that you are rusticated for one semester, you come back. then you have already applied the punishment.
Yeah.
That's the full weight
But
of the
because
law.
the reason why I said that some schools will totally expel that student from school.
No, not 100%.
Ah,
No, that would be too much. There's
okay,
always no. It will be one semester and then you come back. There are rules and regulations. There are offenses that will attract one semester, 2 semester,
okay,
and then there are those that will, for example, if it's maybe a case of abuse of substances,
okay,
maybe after the first or second occurrence, you may be sent completely out. There are rules and regulations, but not a first time offender. No, not a first time offender.
okay.
But in the case of Jesus Christ in that act, he did not even allow the law to come on her. She allowed her to go away. She committed her to her
I
conscience.
think, I
So would
think,
I be able to do that?
well, I also think what Jesus did was also very powerful because I believe that what Jesus did actually transformed the woman.
Yes. But
It
but
transformed the
in
woman.
but in a contemporary situation, you will have to contend with the regulation.
Yeah,
The administrator may not be able to wriggle out of that. They will
yeah.
ask you, why have you not allowed the law to take its natural course? So, so there's that challenge of the law and ethics, or the empathy, back and forth here.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Let me also ask you. Um, I know you are very passionate about the project called Nigeria as much as I'm passionate about it. Uh, I'm not just passionate about Nigeria, in fact, passionate about the whole of Africa. I just want to ask you what type of leadership journey, or if I want to make it clearer, what kind of leadership practice do you think is most suitable for the African society?
That's, well, I'm going to start with an experience, a TV show I watched so many years ago during the days of, was it DBN? That should
Oh,
be
yeah,
in the early 90s.
in Ibadan.
Yeah, yes, DBN. No, not Ibadan. DBN was started in Lagos,
Was it in Lagos?
1996.
DBN, yeah, I remember
Yes.
DBN.
So those were the early days of private broadcasting in Nigeria. And in that TV show was an episode where uh, I don't remember. I think the anchor brought two personality, and then they were arguing what kind of leadership should Africa. I think that was the period Nigeria was trying to transit to very early, maybe around 98, 98,
Yeah.
And one of the personalities that was brought said democracy is, let's start from system one, is strange to Africa. And it really caught my interest, my attention rather. He said, you how could he said, how could you imagine an Alaafin of Oyo, well, for or a contender to the stool of Alaafin of Oyo
Mm,
or Oni of Ife, who contended with other princes,
mm.
but eventually got the position. He said in those days, all the contenders must be
Are banished.
sent, must be banished. He said, but democracy says that you should coexist with
And
your
even criticize
competitors.
the government.
And he says it's not possible. He says it's un-African. How can another of your coexist with this? They are banished. So he said that's the historical perspective of where we are being that we came from. So when colonial came, they brought, okay, no, this let's dismantle monarchy and then live together, tolerate your competitor, So to answer your question from that perspective, I don't know. I
Mm.
don't know. I'll tell you, I don't know. But we must evolve our own leadership
Yeah.
that has cultural
Yeah. Relevance.
connotation and that respects our history as Africans.
I agree completely with you, sir. I know it's a very difficult question, and I agree with you.
It's we have tried all sorts. We started with parliamentary system, went to presidential. I don't know where we're going again.
Yeah.
We've tried all sorts. It's not just working.
We have to adapt our own structure, our own leadership structure that reflects
Yes.
what views and what we believe and what we stand for.
Exactly.
Well, it's just to hear your own point of view. I know it's not an easy answer, but I know over the course of this podcast with different guests that I'll be bringing, eventually we'll come up with something that I believe may eventually be acceptable to the society. So I just take delight in asking every of my guests what kind of
No,
leader.
it's okay. It's a good one. And I'm sure you should.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I'm not.
already evolving my own theory of the type of leadership is already evolving for me. I've been thinking about this since 1998, and over the course of years, it's been evolving for me. I think I'm beginning to come up with something that is truly Africana in its
It,
way it will be
it will, it will, it will, it will, it will be interesting. I would like to be in your presentation when you present the outcome of your study.
all
It will be
right, sir.
interesting if you can give us one. And
Thank you, sir.
you're
Now,
welcome, sir.
my next question will be what change or transformation has taken place in your life that you urgently want to bring to the community or to people around you? I know something must have taken place within you that has made you who you are. What is that?
Yeah,
And how do you want to
yeah. You see,
to the community that you serve?
yeah, and I've been doing that, and that is hard work,
Hard work.
hard work, respect for hard work.
Mm,
That's one. Two, there is I think First Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. Godliness with contentment
mm,
is a great gain. I've always known that, and I've always believed it. Godliness, because with godliness, my own godliness is this: you respect your relationship with God, and then you respect your relationship with men. And Jesus Christ did not miss his words when he was asked that question. He said, love your God and love unto men.
mm,
In fact, I think James was saying that, or is it John was in one of his books says that it's he will consider you a liar if you claim that you love God and you hate your brother. So your godliness must reflect humanity.
mm,
So when you are hardworking and you are godly and contented, you will you will be focused at God and also be focused at impacting humanity. The kind of Christianity we practice in Nigeria is too one way.
mm.
We believe an average Nigerian believes he's a friend of God, while he cares less about what happened to his neighbor. As long as God answers my prayers, There are so many choruses. Number one, if you are number one, why should your neighbor? I mean, and the Bible says, love your prefer. It says, prefer your brother to yourself. Everybody claim you want to be number one, so your neighbor should be number two. Why not allow your neighbor to be number one? So you're number two. I mean, these are some fundamental philosophies that we that crept in somehow. There's no because that song number one, why must you be number one at the expense of your neighbor? I see the hallmark of Christianity is defecting or deferring to your name to that
Yeah,
next person. That's what
brotherly,
stand Christianity. That's
brotherly,
what stand.
brotherly love.
Yes,
Yeah.
brotherly love. In fact, even goes further, you will say, prefer your brother to yourself.
Mm,
But the Christianity we practice in Nigeria since 1990 and above is that it's me first,
mm,
and I care less about others. If I make everyone rest, we don't say it. We don't say it loudly, but by our actions and the kind of prayer points we raise in church, and everyone accompanying with thunderous amen.
mm.
Where if I make everyone the other person, I care less about what happens to you. If I'm comfortable, the rest cannot, because I believe God is for me and not for others. So hard work, godliness, and contentment. You've done your best. Leave the rest. You cannot be everywhere. You cannot win everything. It's win-win. And that is what I preach. And that is what I live. That's what I'm impacting on the society. Hard work, godliness. And if you look at the society in which you are in the US, you see it's evident. Everybody is hardworking.
Well, not
Everybody
everybody.
is godly.
There are people that are lazy too.
But you see, when I say everybody, largely the system is working because the critical mass is hardworking.
Yeah,
It's hardworking, and the system rewards hard work.
exactly.
And when I say godliness is that your system is such that it's natural to do what is good.
Mm.
Here we find it easier to
Not
do
natural.
what it isn't
The
good.
system makes you do what is right.
That is by nature. No humans wants to do what human beings want to do the otherwise. But the
Yes.
system put in place.
Yeah.
You,
Checks and
you know,
balances.
I gave you my experience at the gates in Frankfurt.
Mm.
Why is it that Nigerians, when we're at home or we're going home, there is that impactation of Nigerianness in us?
Nigerians.
And then and then when we go back to the same society, that spirit of Nigerianness disappears, and then you
Well,
see us
I would say
abiding
not
by the law.
totally. For those of us who also work in workplace where you have Nigerians, you still largely see some of those Nigerian uh, inability to want to do what is right. You still
Okay,
see them still uh, displaying those qualities. It's still there, you know.
okay, yeah. I think I'm done with that
Yeah.
because of time. I
Yeah,
know we
so
spent about
finally, I
close to
just
two
want to
hours now.
ask you, I have one final question to ask you. You've been somebody that I respect, that I love. We've shared so many space together, we've pastored together, and you are somebody that I can vouch for anywhere. I can beat my chest and say so many good things about you, even without you
I'm
being.
humble. Thank you, sir.
So I just want to ask you, because I love to ask this question just to understand how the mindset of the people that I love and respect works. How do you practice self-reflection?
Self-reflection. What exactly do you mean by self-reflection?
Like
I,
how do you come to a point where you become who you are today? What are the practices that you do on a daily basis that makes you who you are?
Okay, so how do I bounce myself off the mirror and then look at myself?
Yes, exactly.
Hmm. Well, I I listen. I listen to feedback about myself, like you're saying. I like to receive honest feedback about myself, and I try as much as possible to make corrections. I know that I am not. I'm not perfect. I have my weak points, and I work at it. Uh, Even maybe I should say this. I remember when I was about to get married. Uh, uh, I told my spouse, my wife then, when I was courting her, I told her I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to work this relationship. I wish this relationship to work out, and it's going to take a lot of effort. And over time, whenever she spots um, anything, any challenge or any attitude in me, I try to work at it. I
Mm.
believe that I'm a work in progress
Yeah. Every one
as
of
much
us,
as possible.
every one of us is work in progress. Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
and I asked for one grace from God that to be able to um, take correction. You see, one other thing about me is that I always told people around. I tell my children that the most valuable part of my life was when I was under authority,
Mm.
on the authority of my parents.
Mm.
I believe that that was the period in my life where I enjoyed the best of correction. I was
Mm.
under control. And anybody who does not value the period he was under, well, it depends on the kind of control, I mean, the parenthood or guidance you had. For me, I believe I had the very best. The first
Mm.
18 years of my life, I was under my parents and I was
Mm.
well brought up under
Mm.
strict instruction. When I was going through that period, those period, I didn't like it. But I thank God that
Mm.
I succumbed. But now I now realize that that was the best part of my life
Mm.
while I was being molded.
Mm.
And then so as of today, I have a disposition to life that encourages correction.
Mm.
I'm open up to correction.
Mm.
I'm open up to feedback. I may not take all.
Mm.
I'm able to take information. I'm able to take feedback, mix it, and then evolve new pathway for myself as much as possible. So that's one way I take I do my self reflection. I look at myself. I also bounce my life off the scripture. I see how much I'm able to align with it, how much I'm able to align with it, and then wherever I err, I try as much as possible to make corrections. As I said, I'm a work in progress. Every day I improve. I make attempts to improve. I, please take that word. I make attempts because it's not easy to take instruction. Like Bible says, I think one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit is self-control,
Yeah.
discipleship, hard work, discipleship, godliness, and contentment. For me, these are keywords that guide my self-reflection in life.
Thank you very much, sir. I think this has been an excellent conversation, and I must say that I thoroughly enjoyed nearly 2 hours that we've been together, uh, talking about different topics, talking about technology, education, spiritual life, leadership experience, and all sorts of things that we've discussed on this podcast. I believe we can do another one, maybe sometimes in the future.
Yes,
Just want to,
if if your audience, I'll be interested in the feedback. I hope I have imparted to your audience. I hope I'm interested in the feedback.
I know they're impacted, definitely, because I have been thoroughly impacted. And something that has impacted me, I know definitely would have impacted one or two other persons out there. So I just want to thank you for your time, for your patience. I know it's almost 10 p.m. or
11.
p.m. in Nigeria.
Yes.
You need to go to bed and have some rest. So I just want to thank you and thank you for honoring this invitation. I hope
Thank you so much.
to see you very soon, hopefully by the grace of God, and also to talk more behind the scene about some of the things we are up to. I know I've been telling you I will catch up with you, but there are so many other things that I need to also attend to, which have been preventing me. But definitely, we'll catch up one of these days and pick up from where we stopped in our conversation. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
And you too, sir. My regards to your family and
I will.
every other person.
Thank you. Bye
It's
bye,
been a
sir.
great time together. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.